The Haftorah of this week's Parashas Nosoi, which is from the book of Shoftim, tells us a story about the birth of Shimshon, the famous Shimshon Hagibor, the powerful Shimshon who saved the Jews from the Plishtim and so on. And the story is that at one point, a woman by the name, as it says in the Talmud, Tzalponis, married to an individual by the name of Noach, of the tribe of Dan, simple people, suddenly had a vision. A man appeared and told her, you should know that you are going to be having a child, a son. Although they had no children for a long time. And this child should be dedicated as a Nazir, a Nazirite. As we have in the Parsha of this week, and that's the connection, the laws of a Nazir, which is a person who commits himself to refrain from drinking wine, from refrain from eating meat, a person who dedicates his life, secludes himself, and dedicates his life to service of Hashem completely. So the angel / man, she didn't know was an angel, but it was an informant of a man, who tells her, look, even from before birth, you should already start refraining from drinking wine and eating inappropriate food, which, by the way, teaches us the importance of a woman expecting a child, how her behavior, spiritual and physical, will affect the child for after birth also. So that's the connection, the Parsha of Nazir and the story of the birth of the Nazirite. And the story continues. When she related this to her husband, he said, I would like to see this man too. Miracle happened, he appeared. And he asked, Manoach thus asked this person, now what should I do with this child? He said, just listen to your wife. Whatever I told your wife to do is what you should make sure to follow. As a good host, he says, can I invite you and I'd like to offer you a goat to eat? And he said, I will not eat your goat. What is your name? That's a secret, said the angel in the figure of a man. So then Manoach says, if you don't want to eat that goat, I'm offering that goat as an offering to God. And a miracle happened. A fire appeared, consumed that goat, and with it the angel disappeared. Frightened. Manoach. We have seen such revelations of God. We are destined to die, he turns to his wife. And his wife, practical woman, down to earth, she says, look, if God would wanted to kill us, he wouldn't accept your offering. He wouldn't show us these phenomenal visions. And he wouldn't make us hear what we heard. So obviously, we're destined to live and accomplish a mission. So she says, the offering, seeing and hearing. What is she implying by the fact that not only did we see something, we also heard something, and therefore it is certain that we are destined to be alive and accomplish our mission? This is the connection to Shavuot. Our sages tell us, particularly Rabbi Akiva, that at the moment when we stood on Mount Sinai, and there was thunders and lightning, says the Pasuk, that we saw the koilos. We saw those thunders. And Rabbi Akiva says, not only did we see the thunders, we actually heard the lightning. Now what does it mean? We heard this which is usually visible, and we saw this which usually is sound. But the idea is, what we see is concrete, is finite, is physical. What we hear is more removed, is more divine. Usually, we see the world and we hear about the Creator. At the moment of Mount Sinai was the opposite. We heard the world. The world became more distant. The finite world became more just a sound. But what we saw was the voice of God. It became so powerful. The voice of God became so visible, clear, that those words were not just hearing experiences, was an impact in our full, complete experience. So this woman says to her husband, we have seen and we have heard. We have a similar experience as Mount Sinai. We have experienced such clarity, such open, clear miracles from God, which means He's expecting us to do something. And in our case, it is to raise this child as a Nazir. And indeed, this is what happened. God, we've seen this week phenomenal miracles. 4,000 rockets falling on Israel, and relatively speaking, minimal damage. Unfortunately, a number of loss of lives. But relatively speaking, miraculous. So we say to God, we understand you're showing us the miracles, and we are committed to do what we have to do. So please, God, give us the birth of Mashiach, the appearance, the revelation of Mashiach, taking us out of exile. This Shabbos, Nasa means elevation. Elevate us into the holy Beis HaMikdash.